Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the series, click off. Hey, Something's Fishy cast. This episode we're going to be talking about the finale of Loki because we just watched an overall season 2.
I think it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering what's next for the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
How does Kang end up coming in charge of it? Does he kill Loki? That's kind of what I'm wondering. What's next for the TVA? What's next for Renslayer? I think overall, the series is really cool. I think sometimes things were dragged out in episode 5 and episode 2. I didn't like how those episodes ended. Because episode 2 ended with Brad, where Brad just went back in time and he started being an actor. Then it ended with them trying to stop all the pruning. That happened too quickly because we spent too much time on everything else.
Okay.
And episode 5 was when it ended with him going back in time. Remember that?
No.
Is the end of episode 5 is when Loki figured out time slipping, and we kind of felt like that happened too late. Yeah. But other than that, I really liked it.
That final thing of him grabbing all the timelines and his timeline is his cape, and he sits down. Great.
Yeah.
Loki's new costume, great.
I wish it was a little different, but it still looks cool.
Yeah, look, it looks really cool. The realization that he has to be the one to do it, I thought that was cool. But it did get to a point where I was thinking, like, okay, we're in the same room in the TVA.
Yeah.
And we're in the same room in the TVA, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Are we gonna stay in this room forever? Like, I kind of got bored sitting in the same room.
I did kind of like the repeating the same thing. We had to try to figure out what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I did really like that. It's like he learned the entire skill set by doing the same thing over and over again. Kind of reminded me of Groundhog's Day, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I liked it. Victor's Timely's edition was cool. I don't really have any issues with the show.
Yeah.
There is something I do want to bring up, but anything else about the show?
I really liked, was it the first or second episode where they were going after that guy?
Brad? Second one.
The second episode? The actor guy? Yeah. Oh, I really like that episode because, like, Loki using the tricks and the mannerisms that he had and the way that Tom Hiddleston acted Loki. I was like, I felt like this was 2012 trickster god Loki.
Yeah.
And I really felt that. I know we kind of missed that in the first season. Yeah. So seeing that in that second episode, I was like, this is what we've been waiting for. Exactly. This is what we wanted all along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the Loki that I wanted. This Loki you wanted. I don't know, a lot of you might have wanted. Episode 2 Loki, I feel like is peak Loki for this world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The
combination of his powers and his wit, making Brad think that, oh, there's a bunch of people here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The cool thing where it's like when there's 3 Lokis, okay, they're going to disappear and it's going to be the middle one, but it's not the middle. The middle one is the real one. It's the one on the end.
Yeah.
Or Loki using the shadows to trap Brad was great. I really love it. You know what I mean? And I feel like you look at 2012 Loki and I'm like, this is something that 2012 Loki could have done. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is what trickster Loki is. This is the god of mischief. And I felt like we saw that in that episode. It's probably one of my favorite episodes of Loki being Loki.
I think that I really liked the conversation with Loki and Sylvie, where she was like, no matter what we do, we're playing gods. Mm-hmm. When she said that, I thought, you are.
Yeah.
And then Loki said, we are gods. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Sylvie wants to be the goddess of mischief. I don't think she wants that life. Because her first instinct when she gets free will isn't to go back to Asgard to see what life she lost. It's to go live a life as a human. She's like the total opposite of Thor and Loki in the first Thor movie. because they were both Thor and Loki were both trying to strive for this greatness. Thor was saying, "Well, Asgard is so great, I'm the prince of Asgard. Look at me." And then Loki was like, "Well, look at me. I'm the goddess of mischief. I'm going to be the king of Asgard."
Yeah.
Versus Sylvie, she doesn't aspire to be. And maybe that's the reason. This is a theory. This theory time. I think that might have been the reason why she was pruned. I know it's like, oh well, He Who Remains wanted her to be with Loki on the run so she can meet Loki. But I think the reason why she was pruned was because you look at Thor. If we look at the backstory of Thor.
Who pruned her?
Oh, not pruned. She was taken out of her timeline to stand trial, remember?
Oh, okay.
And then her timeline was pruned.
Yeah.
What was she doing? She was just playing with toys.
Yeah.
Thor and Loki, when they were like 8 to 12, were listening to Odin's stories of how Asgard is so great and glorious.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
One is doing just something simple, just playing with toys, not worried about what's going on in Asgard. The other one is listening to how Asgard rose to power and how he is also a part of that. I think that's that's my theory. I think she was pruned because she didn't want to aspire to glorious purpose. All the other Lokis aspire to be recognized and noticed. She didn't desire to be recognized and noticed. So when she decides,
so she would be the one to kill Kang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other Lokis would just kill him and probably take the spot.
She just kills him and leaves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, probably.
And so because she's different than the other Lokis, her timeline has to be pruned because she's gonna create a branch.
Yeah.
2, she would leave He Who Remains there, and then that leads into Loki being the one to be burdened with that glorious purpose of reviving all the timelines. That's an interesting theory. That she doesn't want to be a god.
One thing I really liked is when Loki's in the room fighting Sylvie with He Who Remains.
Mm-hmm.
But because when I was watching it and he was like, "What should we do?" It was like, well, this can only happen if we go back before the temporal loom, right? Mm-hmm. I was thinking, I know what he has to do.
Yeah.
He's going to have to go back to that moment.
Yeah. And talking to He Who Remains. Yeah.
And when Loki, in that scene where Loki was like, "Why don't you ever fight back?" Kang just stopped her.
Yeah. He Who Remains just stopped Sylvie. Yeah.
And it was like, it was great.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, Kang's like, what do you mean, why don't you fight back?
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to earlier in the episode where Loki was like, let's do it faster this time.
Yeah.
And Mobius is like,
yeah,
what do you mean this time?
Yeah.
But with Kang, he's going to keep letting her kill her. He's like, keep.
I was like, oh, you're... Okay, this is the part where we're at now.
Pause.
Okay. Yeah. Let me explain to you what's going on. It's like they both kind of play off each other in that way.
Yeah.
Where Kang is like... Where He Who Remains is like, you know what? Oh.
I apologize.
I wasn't familiar with the game. You can't fool me.
Yeah.
He Who Remains is like, I apologize. I wasn't familiar with the game.
I don't know if I can say I like season 1 or 2 better. I would probably more so say this is more of a part 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think I can see that.
I don't know if I would really say which one I really like better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe season 1. I don't know. But I still like this one a lot too.
Yeah. I think I like this one. This one was less about time travel.
Yeah.
And more about saving the TVA.
Yeah.
And I think I understood that what this was about.
Yeah.
So
we didn't need to world hop.
We didn't need to world hop. We didn't need the time travel, even though we did.
Yeah.
And we got some cool time loop stuff, like when he pruned himself.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. You know what I mean? So, but this season wasn't about time travel. This season was about what is Loki going to do now that, following the consequences of the first season, what is Loki going to do now? I think they did a good job at leading up to that.
One thing I didn't like about Ant-Man Quantumania is the after credit scene where all the Kangs are cheering.
Yeah.
If you ask me, that after credit scene should have been the mid-credit scene of the Loki show.
Mm-hmm.
It would have made way more sense.
Yeah.
Because He Who Remains says, my variants are already out there.
Yeah.
Now in the mid-credit scene, we have the Kangs meeting together saying they're starting to touch the multiverse. That would make more sense because at this point we have No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, the Marvels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of them defeated Kang. Okay, they're starting to touch the multiverse. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
Overall. At least as far as we're concerned.
Mm-hmm.
This way, now it's like, oh, because Loki's starting to mess with the multiverse.
Yeah.
And we start them seeing to gear up for that battle, not in Quantumania. They do it in the Loki series.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that scene should have been.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
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 I love that part.
Yeah. I think it's funny.
Yeah. I also think it's funny because he's a lizard person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really I like that part. But yeah, I think it would have been better in this movie.
I mean, just like putting the scene from Loki in the Quantumania at the credits. Like, why are you putting this in this movie? It's not necessary. You know? Maybe it's just me. I'm just like...
Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm bugging.
Yeah. Overall, like the show, I think it was good.
Yeah, I think it was cool. Loki's new costume was dope. Looks really cool. I like it's like the really long horns now.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's like a mix of it's like it because from far away it reminds me of Kid Loki a little bit, but then it's got like the mixture of the horns is like long, kind of like the comic books, like really long like comic books, but it still looks cool. And like the band, how it connects to the head, it's like different. It looks like a crown. It just looks, the new costume looks great. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I really like the Loki. I literally like Loki season 2. I think sometimes we might have stayed on things a little bit too long. I didn't really like how episode 5 ended. It didn't feel like an ending. It felt like the very beginning of the next scene that was cut.
Yeah.
But I liked episode 6 of how we picked up. I liked
seeing the Marvel intro in reverse was genius.
Oh, that was great.
I love
whoever took the Marvel and the Marvel logo intro with the Marvel fanfare and decided to play that in reverse. Great idea. Great. That was great.
Yeah.
I remember I was seeing. I almost forgot about that, but you said, I was like, oh right, that was genius.
Yeah. Having it go from like the Marvel Studios going backwards, then that goes through like the loom.
Yeah.
And to go zoom in. That was great. Like we're going backwards in time to the beginning of it all. Like, genius.
That was really great. But I don't have anything else to say to that. I like the series. I like this season. I really liked how Loki was captured throughout it, and how he kind of develops as a character, and it kind of subverts your expectations because you're like, he thinks, crap, you think like he has to kill Sylvie, but then he has this realization. Yeah, it's not about that. Yeah, it's something bigger. It's something bigger than stopping Sylvie. Yeah. It's not about stopping Sylvie because everything's going to happen anyway. In order to save everything, I have to sacrifice myself. Yeah. So now he sits on I think this is symbolic. Now he sits on a throne of gold that he's always wanted. Mm-hmm. Now he sits on that throne that he's always wanted.
Oh yeah.
He's burdened, like he said in the first Avengers movie. I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
Yeah.
He talks to Mobius.
Oh yeah, that's
the burden you have to face, no matter what decision you say. It's not comfort. So now he is able to sit on a throne like he's always wanted.
Yeah.
The burden is he has to keep the multiverse alive. He can't ever be with it. He can't ever be with the people he loves ever again.
Yeah.
I think that's great. That I like the series. Anything else you want to say? All right. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments about this season. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What things did you like? What things didn't you like? Let us know. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.
For all time.
Always.